Hi there, how you going? Welcome to the January 2020 edition of the CIMIC Report. We're into a new decade, so we're going to dive straight into the property management space with Bernadette, and then we'll come back into sales and see what's happening for the year 2020 and particularly for January. So let's go straight into it.
Well, I've spoken about it many times in our past videos about the peak season in property management, and here we are. What we do is try to create competition with a lot of our properties as well. How we do this is obviously our advertising is the first thing that we end up doing, is making sure that our advertising campaign on all web portals are looking really good. This is what attracts tenants wanting to come and inspect a new property. So what we also do is try to create a good time for tenants to view the property as well. This then brings the tenants to come in and inspect the property, and then we get multiple applications on these properties. So to date, we are receiving over 10 applications on majority of our properties, which is absolutely huge.
Yeah, that is far bigger numbers than the industry average.
Correct.
I know there were a couple of instances here over the past week as we go to where overnight we had something in the vicinity of 90 plus applications come in overnight over a spread of properties, but there's just a sheer volume, and it's a demonstration of what's happening in the property management space, being January, February being without question the peak.
And we are ensuring that all our applications we are processing as well are being done correctly, so we are still following our regular process, making sure that they're not blacklisted on Ticker, doing a rental references, making sure that they can afford the rent as well.
Yeah, so some really key points. Now, it's interesting how you discussed about competition and creating that competition in the property management space. If we dive back into the sales world, and it does hold hands with the topic that I wanted to have a chat about today, there's a lot of chatter at the moment around rental reforms. So the Queensland government, the current Labor government, has proposed some rental reforms. Now, the vast majority of the public is not aware of it. The industry, the REIQ and the industry bodies and agencies are across it, and we feel like we're obliged as agents within the industry to make our landlords aware, and also other potential landlords that are being managed through other agencies, in what we believe, and the entire industry also believes, that the proposed changes are absolutely absurd. So if you're not aware of it, have a look at it, but it's effectively taking and stripping away the rights of a landlord and their ability to make decisions about their own investment property. Some of the proposed changes in there do have merits, and there are some changes that do need to be put into place to protect the tenants, but the proposed changes are there to basically give majority of the power of decision-making process to the tenant, and stripping it away from the landlords as indicators. So giving a couple of examples of that, a landlord would not have the ability to refuse pets at a property. Now that's a questionable one, but what's the definition of a pet? So what is suitable, what is not? The tenant's ability, and this one I think is absolutely insane. The tenants, if these proposed changes do pass and become legislation, a tenant will be able to modify a rental property, so not their own property, but the landlord's property. They'll be able to modify it without any consent needed from that landlord. That's a significant one. There's the other one that's probably one of the biggest and most significant one is the inability for a landlord to make a decision to end a tenancy. So we're talking not prior to the end of the lease, we're talking at the end of a lease. So if it's a 12-month lease coming to an end, if the proposed changes come to fruition, a landlord will not be able to provide the tenant notice to vacate at the end of the lease. Meaning if they wanted to sell the property, move in, or relet it, or source another tenant, or renovate and try to increase the potential rent, the landlord will not have the ability. Effectively, the tenant will have the right to decide when they want to end their lease. Now, what's that going to do with regards to what I said at the beginning around competition? As an owner of an investment property, having your rights stripped away like that will not be a position that an owner would want to have. It's not a favourable investment option, and you will find that if these proposals do come to fruition, that a lot of landlords will just make the decision to sell the property if they don't have the ability to make decisions of how their own investment property is managed. Ultimately, they wear the risk. So if that's going to be the case, and there's a lot of information coming out should this legislation pass, that whilst the tenants will have that ability or have these extra rights, rental amounts will skyrocket.
They will, and will create more competition as well.
Correct, because you will also find that landlords will also say, you know what, without this ability, there's no value or reason to maintain or own this investment property. So we will see in the sales market, no doubt, an influx of properties for sale that are investment properties.
Yep.
But what they will also do is affect the supply and demand space
Yeah.
in your world, being there are less properties available for rent.
Yep.
Which in turn will mean the tenants will have to pay more. So we think the proposed legislations are absurd. I know the industry body, the REIQ, and everybody within the industry is opposing the proposed changes. So fingers crossed and common sense prevails and it doesn't come through.
Yep.
But it's interesting news, and there's a lot of chatter about it at the moment. So we'll find out in the coming months where that washes up. So no doubt in the upcoming videos, February, March, we'll give you an update of what has passed. And we'll let you know what's going on. If you have any questions about what I've discussed or what Bernadette's discussed today in the video, feel free to reach us at the office on 3638 4700. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you for the first edition of the Syndic Report. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.